Hi, I'm Tricia Springstubb, and I'm so glad to be joining you here at the Ohioana Book Festival, one of my very favorite book events. This year, I'm happy to be sharing my new picture book, Khalil and Mr. Haggerty and the Backyard Treasures, illustrated by Elahe Tahirian. And I think I'll read you the first couple of pages. Khalil's new house had an up and a down. Upstairs lived his family, which was big and busy and noisy. Downstairs lived Mr. Haggerty, who was quiet. Khalil loved the backyard. So did Mr. Haggerty. While Mr. Haggerty worked in his garden, Khalil hunted for bugs and interesting rocks. He lay in the grass and read his library books. Sometimes, if he couldn't figure out a word, he asked for help. Mr. Haggerty would squint through his glasses. "Tarantula," Mr. Haggerty would say quietly, or "volcano," or doubloons. Sometimes Mr. Haggerty needed help with his words, too. "Where did I put my dang thing, my hole maker, my..." "Shovel?" said Khalil. "Whoa, look at this big, not beeper, not beastie." "Beetle?" said Khalil. That summer, the house was hot. Upstairs and downstairs, it was much too hot. Even in the backyard, the sun burned and the air sizzled. One morning when Khalil went out, everything looked droopy, even Mr. Haggerty. Khalil decided this would be a good day to find buried treasure. I wonder what's going to happen next. Can you really find treasure in your own backyard? And by the way, what is treasure? Is it always something sparkly that you can hold in your hands? Or could it be something else? Something that you just hold in your heart? This is a story about cross-cultural, intergenerational friendship. It's a story about kindness. It's a story about power, the power of language and the power in one child's voice. And very, very important, it's also about chocolate cake. So that's Khalil and Mr. Haggerty and the Backyard Treasures. And I'm also thrilled this year to be coming back with my 4 Cody books. This is a chapter book series about fearless Cody, her friends and family and classmates, Cody and the Fountain of Happiness, Cody and the Rules of Life, Cody and the Heart of a Champion, and Cody and the Mysteries of the Universe. These are books for kids about 7 to 10. They're cozy, happy books about all the things that loom so large in the life of an elementary school kid. Getting along with siblings, making and losing friends, being concerned that maybe your teacher doesn't like you, trying to make those hard decisions about what's right and what's wrong. And they are enlivened wonderfully by the comic and whimsical illustrations of Eliza Wheeler, who brings Cody's friends and neighborhood, an inner ring suburb, much like Cleveland Heights where I live, vividly, happily to life. Here's one example in the cafeteria. Oops, looks like Cody took a tumble off her seat. One last thing I'll add for maybe the teachers in the audience. If you go to my website, triciaspringstubb.com, you'll find lots of discussion questions and fun hands-on activities to use if you teach these books in your classroom. And also some information about bringing me to visit you either virtually or, fingers crossed, maybe this year, in real life visit. So thanks so much for loving books and reading, and I hope you have a wonderful time at the Ohioana Book Festival. Take care.